Hello and welcome to TV Kojiko. Our program today is Municipal Matters. Joining me today will be a peer group from Port Hope to talk about the Centre Pier. Marcia Winter, the lunch lady. She's responsible for providing hot lunches to school children here in the area. But first up, we have representatives from Transition House. We have Diane Keast and Bill Thompson, who's the chair of the board. Welcome to the show, folks.
Thank you.
So Transition House, I know a little bit about it, and I'm sure there are a number of viewers who know a little bit about it, but maybe you can give us a full-on breakdown of what Transition House is exactly. We'll start with you, Diane.
Well, Transition House is an emergency shelter. When we first originally started, back in December 1999, we were taking in single women and women with children, with the hopes of eventually being able to assist all individuals throughout Northumberland County. And that started at 300 George Street. And in 2003, we purchased a building on Chapel Street, 10 Chapel, which is now called Transition House. And we were able to take on the mandate of servicing all individuals within the community. That would be single males, males with children, families, couples, and single women and with children.
And it's specifically for people in, it's not a hostel?
No, it's not a hostel.
Okay.
It is a homeless shelter.
Okay.
So that's the main mandate, is that you have to be homeless.
Has there been a huge number of, since, I mean, it's been 10 years now since you started?
Yes, we have been increasing the numbers that we have been servicing. Last year we serviced 319 individuals, which was an increase of approximately 12% over the previous year. So it is always going up in the numbers of how many people we do service.
Well, let's talk about some of your community partners, because you're partnered with Northumberland County, the Sisters of St. Joseph, the Help Center, Salvation Army as well, Northumberland United Way, Neighborhood Link, Bright Starts, Up from the Ashes, and the Northumberland Coalition Against Poverty. These are obviously, these groups know a great deal about dealing with people, not just on the low end of the spectrum, but dealing with people who are, you know, who now find themselves homeless for whatever reason.
We get a lot of referrals, particularly from the county and from the Help Center. And all the other organizations that are on that list, we do referrals to them for our clients. When the clients come into the house, we're trying to teach them life skills. So when they come in within 24 to 48 hours, we will sit down with them to find out what their goals are, for whether they're short-term goals or long-term goals, and then we'll put together an action plan. And we will do referrals to all the agencies that can help them to reach their goals, be it while they're in the house or even after they leave Transition House.
Now, how long is generally a person will stay at Transition House?
They can stay upwards to 90 days, depending on their circumstances. And every 30 days we have to apply for an extension through the social services. And every client is different. We do take in individuals that are working or that are on EI, and those individuals are allowed about a 30-day stay, and that is so that they can save their money to be able to find something affordable that they can go out and have housing.
At least to move on. That's why it's called Transition House, isn't it? It's a transitional state in one's life where they find themselves maybe at the bottom of the spectrum and hopefully moving their way up, which is what we now obviously this is an expensive program to run. How are we funded, Bill? I'm going to ask you that question.
Well, for the most part, we're funded through the county. We get a per diem for people that come and stay there. And as Diane says, it has to be reviewed and revised every 30 days. So we get so much per day, and there's more than just the money that goes into it. Even the people that stay with us help out. Like they all have to chip in and make meals. We provide the food, of course, but they provide the manpower to do it and to keep the place tidy, even though we have full-time staff. But it gives them some sense of responsibility, some sense of belonging, that they can help out and do things.
Well, I guess it also gives them a sense of ownership too, not just for their responsibility, but also for their living arrangements.
Yes.
Right?
Correct.
And that's one of the things you're teaching them when they need to learn. It's part of the life skills?
Life skills, yes. Yeah. So they have to be up by 7:30 in the morning. They need to shower, have their breakfast, and to start their chore by 9 o'clock. Each resident is assigned a chore that they have to do on a daily basis before they leave the house. Once the chore is done, then they go out and try to find a place to live or a job or whatever their particular goals are for that day.
Now you have full-time staff? Yes. How many are on staff there?
6.
6, that's correct.
Because it's 24 hours a day.
Oh, I see, okay.
Yeah. 7 days a week.
And are there volunteers as well that come in to help us, or is it strictly people on staff that are
There
working?
aren't the same number of volunteers that we started out with. As it developed, then requirements were different, but we do have certain volunteers that do certain things, but we do find that it's best to have the paid staff as well.
Do you find that once people have moved on, that they still want to come back and help out at Transition House?
We do have a few that do want to do that, yes.
Mm-hmm.
We ask them to wait at least a 3-month period because of the, we don't want them to be too attached to Transition House. They need to take the skills that we've taught them and put them in place in their own residence. And once they've accomplished that, within 3 months, we will do the, have them come back and help volunteer at the house. Mm-hmm. Like I said, each person is being taught life skills, and their volunteering at the house is not something that we necessarily will talk about while they're there.
Mm-hmm. Well, no, of course not. I guess they're still trying to get themselves back on their feet. I just want to remind the viewers we're watching Municipal Matters here on TV Cogeco. I'm your host, Dave Glover, and joining me is Diane Keast, who is the, I guess, the Executive Director Manager at Transition House, and we have Bill Thompson as well, who is the CEO, Chair of the Board of Transition House. Now, we were talking about funding. Some of the funding partners here are obviously the Province of Ontario, Northumberland County, Sisters of St. Joseph's again, Luke Ford Foundation, Northumberland United Way, the Trillium Foundation, Canadian Mortgage Housing Corporation, the Early Years Program, faith groups, and service clubs and organizations. That would be Rotary, the Lions Club, and things of that nature. And now people can become members of the Transition House community members?
Yes, we're always looking for either agencies to be partners with us in the community, and we're also looking for members such as board of directors. We're always looking for individuals to come onto the board of directors on a continual basis.
Now, what does membership entail? I mean, is it part of are you part of the fundraising that goes on to help maintain Transition House?
It depends on what the individual themselves wants to do.
Okay.
As far as volunteering, they would be answering the door at the house. They would be sitting with the clients if they want to have someone to talk to. Like I said before, it's a very big, important part of volunteering. So as far as the membership goes, they would go onto the board of directors, and they would only get together once a month to assist on the running of the house. Mm-hmm.
It's not the traditional type of membership where you pay $10, $20, $30 a year for membership. We don't have that, but we do welcome volunteers either around the house or to be board members. So that's really as far as we go as a membership.
Okay, and now part of the job is life skills as well. I guess it's showing people how to apply for jobs and things of that nature.
We'll do the jobs, help them with job search, with resumes, and that's where a lot of the agencies come into play too. Is you know, the help center will help with finding them housing also. We get them in touch with agencies that will find them employment, like CERC or Job Connect or Staffing Connections and things like that. So when we put the goals and action plan into place, they will have a whole list of all the services that are available to them. And we also will help them with budgeting. They have to, once a week, all clients are responsible to make dinner for all the residents in the house. The whole idea of that is every Monday we get together and we'll do a meeting to discuss what we're going to have for the following week, who's going to cook it, and who's going to clean up. This is to, a lot of them don't have very good cooking skills, so this is to teach them how to eat within their budget and how to prepare the foods that are there for them too. So, and hopefully teaching them to eat nutritionally too within their guidelines of how much they have.
Well, the numbers for 2008 were up about 17% from 2007.
Approximately 12 to 17%.
Have you seen an increase, or is it too early to tell so far for this year?
There has been an increase. Back in August, September, we were filled to our capacity with a waiting list going on. So it has surpassed what we have done the previous year, yes.
Now, what is